Hey everyone, it's Monday, February 1st. The time is 3:12 p.m. and the temperature right now is minus 6 degrees Celsius. Although with the wind chill, apparently it feels like minus 11. I'm here at the intersection of Lawrence Avenue East and Victoria Park Avenue. And there's a look south down Victoria Park. And the plan for this one is to head east through the Wexford neighborhood. And then I'll continue on east over to Lawrence East Station. As you can see by the sign there, this area goes by the name Wexford Heights. I believe that's a business improvement association. And once I cross over to the other side of Victoria Park Avenue, I will be in Scarborough. All right, so for the second time in as many weeks, I'm in Scarborough recording a video. And to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever been along this stretch of Lawrence Avenue before. And I don't know a whole lot about it. So this will probably be not the most informative of walks that I've recorded, but hopefully there's some interesting observations to make. And there is Coalition Music. It says Canada's Music Incubator on it. I think that's a private independent recording label. And they've looked after acts such as Our Lady Peace, Simple Plan, and The Tea Party, to name a few. And that's about the extent of research I've done on this area. Normally, I research the area I'm about to explore while I'm making my way over on the TTC. I took the 54A Lawrence Avenue bus from Eglinton Station. And I looked up some information about this area on the way, and then at some point I got the idea to fire up an Instagram live video. So I spent the last 15 minutes or so of the bus ride over here streaming live on Instagram, and that was my first time ever doing that. And earlier this morning, I had an appearance on the CBC radio show Metro Morning. I was on at 8:20 a.m., so that was kind of interesting. This area of Wexford runs from Victoria Park, where I started, over to about Birchmount Road. And this walk should be somewhere around 3.5 kilometers in total. And it's very much a suburban landscape, much like the walk along Eglinton Avenue East I did through the Golden Mile last week. It seems to be dominated by suburban style strip malls with parking out front. And I did something kind of stupid on the bus. I have two sets of gloves. I have a thin pair of touchscreen gloves that I normally wear. Then I have a much thicker pair of super cold weather gloves. And I had left my thin gloves on the bus. I was too busy streaming to notice that I left them on the seat. So even though it's -6, I am rocking bare hands right now because this camera is kind of hard to operate with the other gloves. That's all good. I've got one hand in my pocket keeping warm, the other one on the camera, and every few minutes or so I'll just switch hands. Hopefully you won't notice. So this is Pharmacy Avenue. I think there's a school for the arts just to the north of here. It might be Wexford School for the Arts or something to that effect. There's a adult movies and toys store. Just in case you haven't heard of the internet, I guess that's where you would go to get adult movies. Seems like a mildly outdated business model. There's a pretty big plaza over there. Seems to be a pretty good variety of different cuisines offered. There's a shawarma empire, Al Amir meat and grocery. There's a Caribbean cuisine restaurant. I can't quite. Alabon Libin. It's always hard to pronounce things for the first time. On the left here we have the Wexford Residence. Seems like that side of the street would be a little more interesting, but I think there'll be a number of plazas and shops on this side. Here's someone else walking around without gloves, so I'm not the only one. Welcome to Toronto, folks. Even though I'm in the former borough of Scarborough, it is still the city of Toronto, as it became part of Toronto proper in 1998 when the megacity was formed. And the first mayor of Toronto after turning into a megacity is Mel Lastman. I think one of the Lastman bad boy appliance and furniture stores isn't too far from here. Dornella's Bike Shop. And there's what looks to be a Mediterranean-themed supermarket. ARZ or R's. There goes a 54 Lawrence bus. And here goes someone without indicating their turn. Good job. That is Wexford Presbyterian Church. So every year there is a Taste of Lawrence food festival that is held along Lawrence Avenue in between Warden Avenue and Birchmount. I think they hold it every July. I've never been. And of course it was canceled in 2020, and I believe all such events, at least throughout the summer, will be canceled for 2021 as well. There's a look north up some hydro fields. I certainly don't think this time last year we would have thought that such events would have been canceled 2 years in a row. I did read the population of Wexford is around 18,000 residents. It seems to be mostly low-rise, single-family homes to the north and south of here. There's a place called Minnie Mo's Burgers. And I also read that the second most spoken language here is the Filipino language of Tagalog. And I think that's around 4.5% of the population. And there is Top Gun steak, burger, steak, fries, poutine, milkshake, and more. I'm pretty sure they have a location in Kensington Market. I'm assuming, since they have the same name, that that's related to the Kensington location. There's a do-it-yourself car wash. You don't see that in Toronto too often. I wonder if I scared away all those birds. There seems to be a lot of Mediterranean food places in this area. There's some Korean over on that side. Oh, that's a New Seoul acupuncture clinic. Normally I see Korean characters like that, I just kind of assume it's a restaurant. But there's a Korean barbecue restaurant right next to it. And this building is kind of interesting. That's a YMCA community center in front of it. And that one was, if I'm not mistaken, completed in 1994. And it looks quite modern for what is now a relatively old building by Toronto standards. It's not the best place to cross the street when you're right next to a major intersection. And this is Warden Avenue, so I think this is where the food festival starts, and it would run over to Birchmount. Then once I'm past Birchmount, I think I'll be in the Dorset Park neighborhood. There's a Timmy's employee taking out the trash. I got 18 seconds. I'm gonna go for it. So this is Warden Avenue. It's one of the major north to south nodes that runs through Scarborough. It seems like the 54 bus is relatively frequent. And this is Wexford Heights Plaza. There's a big Pharmasave. Normally you're looking at a Rexall or a Shoppers Drug Mart. That's a chain I don't think I've ever been to. And there's another plaza across the street. Captain C Cakes and Ice Cream. Wappy Cannabis. I think that might be the first cannabis shop I've spotted along this stretch, which is quite different from other parts of Toronto. And there's an FV Foods Filipino bakery and Asian cuisine. I think they have a location over in Little Manila. I couldn't tell you what the traffic would normally be like along Lawrence Avenue. It seems like a major enough street to warrant an LRT construction. But if traffic never gets that bad, I think buses will do the trick just as well. And according to this sign, we are still in Wexford Heights. I think there's something in the neighborhood of over 245 businesses that are a part of the Wexford Heights Business Improvement Association. There's Diana's Oyster Bar and Grill. They can't be doing a very good business during the pandemic. It looks like there's some dinosaur-themed metal art over there on Crockford Boulevard. Not sure that's worth crossing the street to go see, but that's neat. Possibly, if I am live streaming, coming back in the other direction, because I am thinking of doing a live stream after this. I can check that out from the other side of the street. There's the Wexford Heights United Church. One thing you don't see as you get further away from the core, at least you don't see as much, are the really grand old churches. Although it looks like there's definitely an older church attached to this one. That was probably the original structure. And there's a cemetery next to it. That's kind of neat. She's probably thinking, who's that dummy walking around holding a camera without gloves? I would imagine that cemetery is long out of space. It says Wexford, Zion Wexford Cemetery, 1842. What happens when a cemetery fills up and several generations go by and no one even tends to the graves anymore? Do we just leave it be? There's a Swiss Chalet. That is Westford Plaza, not Wexford Plaza, Westford Plaza. And here's an Enterprise Rent-A-Car. They've been consolidating a lot of their locations throughout the pandemic. One of those businesses that is particularly hard hit. And this here is Howden Drive. That's a Food Basics discount supermarket over there. This doesn't strike me as a neighborhood that would have a lot of pedestrian traffic, even if we weren't in the middle of a pandemic. I think that's one of the big knocks of Scarborough and some of the outer suburbs, is that they're clearly designed for the automobile. That's why I think it'll be so interesting to see what happens to Eglinton East once the LRT goes in. But I don't think this area will undergo such a transformation. There's some office space for lease. I can't imagine there being very high demand for office space right now. I think we're at the point where so many landlords now are probably starting to get towards the end of the rope, just like a lot of smaller retailers are. Merry Christmas, Toronto. Wishing you a healthy and successful 2021. And there's Uncle Dougie on it. Hopefully our tax dollars didn't pay for that thing. There's an apartment building. So from Yonge and Eglinton at Midtown Toronto, it took about 35 minutes by the bus to get up to Victoria Park and Lawrence, so it's not that far. And I Googled the return trip from Lawrence East Station, and it said that would be about 51 minutes, or I could take the bus, and from there it would be about 40-45 minutes. Although if I take the train system, I'd have to take an RT train, and then I would have to transfer to line 2 and take that over to Bloor-Yonge Station, and then I would have to transfer again north up to Yonge and Eglinton. Oh, it looks like there's a new condo development going in here at the borough. So this is Birchmount Road, so I believe this is the end of Wexford Heights. Let's just take this opportunity here to cross over to the south. There's a look back to the west where I came from, obviously. So I think this is where the food festival would come to an end. And that's visited by somewhere around 200,000 people every year. And I think that pales in comparison to what the Taste of the Danforth gets, or the Taste of Little Italy, but still nice that the folks up here don't have to go all the way into the heart of the city to experience a food festival like that. A lot of those festivals just have the same vendors and the same kind of food anyways. It's kind of like if you've ever seen the Rib Fest that sort of travels around Toronto in the summertime. It's pretty much all the same food trucks selling all the same stuff. Scarborough Pizza Kebab. There's a place called Oriental Spa. Seems to be a rather out of touch name. I saw a business with that name down on Gerrard East. That's sort of a word I don't think someone would use in a new business. There is luxury condominiums from the 200s. I'm guessing that would consist of a 350 to 400 square foot box. So I think this area is called Dorset Park. I'll see if I can grab a name off a sign. I was originally going to end the video at Birchmount there, but when I realized we weren't too far from Lawrence East Station, I figured I'd just record a walk all the way. Welcome to McGregor Park Apartments. 1 and 2 bedrooms available. Wonder what the rent would be in there. And they're at $21.90. It's a little 2-story apartment complex. Apartments or townhomes? Probably townhomes. And I think on the right here is McGregor Park. There's a basketball court. I think there's a community center and an outdoor swimming pool. And there's the library. I think there's a secondary school just after this. Perhaps in the summer I'll revisit some of these parts of Scarborough and also wander down some of these residential streets, although I don't think there's a whole lot to see. It's not like downtown where you get a lot of 1800s and early 1900s old houses. There's a big church. And this library looks to be somewhat recent. That's the McGregor Park branch. And that is St. Lawrence the Martyr Catholic Church. There's no shortage of churches along this stretch. What is that next to it? St. Lawrence School. St. Lawrence Catholic School, I believe. And there's McGregor Park Community Center. And I think this is the secondary school I talked about earlier. Certainly feels kind of barren up here. That building is $22.30 in case you want to look up the rents. This is Winston Churchill Collegiate Institute. And I could tell you exactly nothing about this school. Oh, I see Bad Boy off in the distance there. So I think this would be Kennedy, and directly south of here would be Kennedy and Eglinton, where I ended one of my prior walking videos that I did last week. And it looks like there's a large plaza on that side, Lone Thai Supermarket. I have never heard of that. There's a Harvey's, and I saw a Church's Chicken in there. So it seems whatever side of the street I'm on, it's the wrong one in terms of taking in the most interesting sights. There's Church's Chicken. There's a Dollarama. Maybe I should pop in there and get some thin gloves to slide over my fingers. That might not be the worst idea in the world. Just something to get me by until I can order some nicer ones. And the last gloves I had were actually kind of expensive. I got them at Sporting Life. They were Rosinals. I think that's how you say that brand. I don't normally interrupt my videos. But I am kind of thinking I should go in there and get some. I do have much thicker gloves, but I can't really hold this camera with them. So this is Candy Road, so I think I need to be on the south side here just to be able to get to Lawrence East Station anyways. There's a look south into the barren landscape. And I think directly north of here is the Scarborough Town Center, where you'll find the Scarborough City Center, which is kind of the manufactured downtown area of Scarborough. So just off to the east here would be the RT tracks, which run to the north. You know what? I know I'm almost at the station, but I am going to see if there's any lineup at Dollarama. This is a first for our video, just because it's right here, and I know they're open because they do sell food, so they're considered an essential retailer. So if I can just waltz in there and buy some gloves, why not? I'll see if I can leave the camera running. In true suburban fashion, it looks like I can't actually enter from the main street. Or can I? Nope. Maybe. Oh, it's a Laguna Bay Filipino restaurant here. Let me see if I can slide my... Oh, you know what? All right, screw that. Is there a lineup to get in? To be honest, my hands aren't that cold. I just think it's a dumb idea not to have more suitable gloves. I am wearing a winter hat, which makes putting on this mask oh, there was someone there waving me not to come in. That's annoying. I did not see her, and she just appeared out of nowhere. Maybe we can get a look at if there's people in line or not. Maybe I'll just fast forward this part or leave a timestamp as to when I do get in. Thank you. So we are looking for gloves. This looks like it might be the aisle. Here we go. I just need something thin. I already have some thicker gloves. They don't have to be touchscreen capable. Ultra soft. Something like that might work. This is ridiculous. Why are we looking at gloves on my video? Polar fleece gloves. Large. Me. These will do. $2. You're waiting?
Oh, no, you can go ahead.
Oh, thank you. She's waiting, all right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
You can use this one. Yeah. Keep it there. Insert cash. You know how to use this? Thank you for shopping at Scarborough transaction. You can use this one. Oh. You bought a lot of stuff and are working tirelessly to provide you with
Thank you for shopping at Dollarama.
Yeah. This way, please.
Hello?
Okay, there we go. Now I have a glove on my right hand. Let's take a look at this plaza since we're here. That was ridiculous. Sorry about that, guys. There's Lawn Tie Supermarket. Oh, there's a beer store in here. And you know what? As much as I like my other gloves, these ones are not bad. They're a little bit thicker, but they might even be warmer. So there is Mel Lastman's Bad Boy. Not that I was in any danger whatsoever of getting frostbite. Since I'm almost at the RT station, I'm just going to go ahead and leave my mask on. It's kind of annoying to take it on and off with a winter toque on. So I think what I need to do here is hang left. As I don't think the station itself is right on Lawrence. I noticed that at Kennedy too. They don't really have these stations as being all that pedestrian friendly. So here, I think Lawrence Avenue sort of goes up a hump over top of the rail tracks. And I actually think that is the Scarborough Town Center skyline off in that direction. But first there's some unpedestrian friendly crossings to deal with, such as this. I somehow got suckered into going the wrong way there. So that would be where Scarborough Town Center is, way off there. So those gloves would be the second sort of beloved item I've lost while out recording a video. I had some rather convincing Ray-Bans that I got in Thailand that I left in, or at Scarborough Town Center when I recorded a cycling video last year. So maybe I should stop coming to Scarborough. There's a look at Lawrence Avenue East and Lawrence East Station. There is a Lawrence station on line 1 of the subway to the west of here, and I think there's a Lawrence West station to the west of that. It's quite an industrial area here. I don't know what these operations are up there. There's the 54A bus to Star Spray Boulevard. So welcome to Lawrence East Station. What I think I'll do is make a video for my Johnny Stumbles channel. They call it the subway here, but it's really the RT, where I head into this station. That says underpass to Lawrence Avenue East and TTC commuter parking. So I'm just gonna pop inside and make a video for the other channel here. So you can look for that on Johnny Stumbles. I think I'll board the RT for one stop and I'll go in one direction and then, oh, there we go. Some RT action. Double RT action. So I'm going to do that. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this walk through Wexford and then continuing along Lawrence Avenue to Lawrence East Station. If you wish to support the channel, there are links to my Patreon account in the description. You can also check out channel memberships on the main page. And I also have Instagram where, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I went live for the first time. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.